Greetings, students. This short film will show you how to structure your essay or build your essay. First, look back at Evernote and see your notes that you have already made on this topic. You will have already listed some thematic connections. That is step 2, part C, and you can see that I'm circling that now. And what I'm doing here for my example is comparing equality, the theme of equality, to Pleasantville, while seeing how equality manifests in Harrison Bergeron, the film 2081, and Pleasantville. So what I've already done is gather some thematic connections, and the first one is an external force makes everyone the same. So in both stories that is happening. My second one is that people really do believe that it's important to conform. And the third one, as I was saying, the third one is that there is a hero in the story that introduces the idea of individuality. So now I have the 3 thematic connections that I'm going to use, and I'm going to look at the template. So as you can see, here I am on the template, and I'm going to be looking at the theme of equality and from Harrison Bergeron in 2081 and comparing that to Pleasantville. So the first thing that I'm going to do is circle each one of these different examples, because each one of these is going to be one thematic connection. You remember what I just showed you, how I had those 3 thematic connections? Those are going to become the topics of your paragraphs. So I have my 3 thematic connections here. My first one is that in both instances there is an external force that makes everyone the same. My second point is that people conform. In both Harrison Bergeron combined with 2081, people conform. They do what they're told to do, and the same thing happens in Pleasantville. People go along with what they're supposed to do. And then my last thematic connection is that there is a hero who promotes individuality and in fact becomes a hero by promoting that individuality. So what I did was label those 3 thematic connections. Now what I'm going to do is try to think of examples and fill in the boxes with those examples. So for the first thematic connection, or the first paragraph, my example from the story, so that's the story text, I'm going to use the HG men and the handicapper general setting all of the rules, so other people don't have control. And then from Pleasantville, my example is going to be the fact that it's a TV show and everybody has to follow the rules when they're in the TV show. Now, these are just the brief keywords that are going to remind me of that. My work that I've already done in Evernote and your work that you've already done is going to provide the actual writing for this. This is more of just to get your ideas organized. Now for the second example, I have that people conform. And so now my example from the film, I'm going to say that they're the weights on the audience members. So that scene when we look out over the whole auditorium and we see that all those people in the audience are wearing weights. That is an example of them conforming or giving up what they really want to do so that they follow the rules. And then the example that I'm going to use from Pleasantville is that scene at the diner when everybody orders the exact same thing to eat. And it's not just about their food and what they want to eat. It's about them symbolically accepting everything as the same. They eat what's given to them and they all ask for the same thing, so they have no individual choices. For the third example of a hero promoting individuality and becoming a hero by doing that, I'm going to use an example from the film of Harrison on the stage. So I'm going to just abbreviate and say Harrison on stage when he takes off his handicap. So the moment when he throws them off, he is breaking away from what the government and the HG men want him to do. And then for the example from Pleasantville, I'm going to use Mary Sue. That's her name when she's in the TV show. And when she goes to Lover's Lane with Skip. So that's when she starts to break out of what she is supposed to do and establish her individuality. So now what I can do is I can go back and I can construct each paragraph based on the information that I have. So the first thing I would do is I would start my first paragraph about external forces, and so my topic sentence would be about how external forces are clear or apparent or manifest in both the story and in Pleasantville. And then I'd give my example that I've already written about in Evernote, and then I would transition to Pleasantville, and then I would give the example of the TV show. And that'll get me through the 3 body paragraphs, and we'll go back and look at the introduction and the conclusion after we do that. That's the end.